Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go live to Ayodhya to get a sense of the mood on the ground and speak to various other spiritual leaders as part of our continuing conversation before the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, and that is something that the whole country is going to be glued into on the Republic Network all of tomorrow morning and evening. As I said, viewers, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is following a set of strict guidelines mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita before the consecration ceremony at the Grand Ram Temple in Ayodhya. The Prime Minister is also following a sattvic diet before taking part in this very historic event. Ladies and gentlemen, much more than all of that, the Prime Minister is having only coconut water for the 11-day Anushtan that he is observing ahead of the Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. We have a lot of reporters on the ground who will tell us more about the significance of tomorrow's ceremony. And I'll speak to some religious leaders about that as well. But before that, here is the mood on the ground, and then we'll take this forward.
Prime Minister Modi visiting temples connected to the Ramayana. The visits are part of a set of ethical guidelines in the Gita known as Yama Niyama. The PM began his temple run from Nasik's Kalaram temple on Jan 12. The Prime Minister then visited Veerbhadra temple in Lepakshi on Tuesday. The PM's next big temple visit was at Ramaswamy temple in Thrissur in God's own country. The PM then visited two temples in Tamil Nadu on Saturday. And then the PM spent Sunday at Kotanda Ramaswamy temple in Tamil Nadu. The PM is also on a sattvic diet for 11 days leading up to the temple opening.
आप जानते हैं कि अयोध्या में श्री राम के भव्य मंदिर में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा से पूर्व मेरा 11 दिन का व्रत अनुष्ठान चल रहा है। ऐसी पुण्य अवधि में यहां ईश्वर से साक्षात आशीर्वाद पाकर मैं धन्य हो गया।
Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And as we speak to India's leading spiritual leaders, I am now joined by Swami Abhedanand of the Chinmaya Mission. Swamiji, namaskar. I am so glad to be speaking to you today and to be meeting you, though virtually, after such a long time. I hope you are well.
So nice to see you.
I hope you are well.
And greetings to all the viewers.
Swamiji, thank you, Swami. Swamiji, you have taken Bhagwan Sri Ram's philosophy to a global level through the Chinmaya Mission, including South Africa, Singapore, across the world. And now you are witnessing this big event tomorrow, along with all other Hindu spiritual leaders. So firstly, you recently spoke about correcting the mistakes of looters and invaders. Looters and invaders. What made you say that? And can you expound on that in a little more detail?
See, Arnab, that any mistake that is not corrected, I always say it doesn't repeat, but it repeats with its bigger magnitude. And, I respect your faith, you respect my faith. This is how we can survive with each other. The whole world is a big body of the God. Each organ can exist only when I allow other organ to exist. But when I disturb your organ, other organ, then that other organ will not allow me also to survive. So the invaders, the looters, sometimes like Babars or other people, they came, and the whole peace of anybody, the joy of any person, the joy of any civilization depends on its faith system or its knowledge system. And temples are not just a temple. It represents our faith, it represents our value system, it represents our knowledge, and it is broken. It means I can break your faith and my faith is more stronger than your faith. That is not true. Our faith or any faith is dependent on the Lord who is at all place at all time. And therefore, it is not the breaking of the temple. It is as if you are trying to break the truth, and truth is that which is unbreakable. What is breakable cannot be the truth. And if these mistakes are not corrected, then ordinary person will only think that my faith or my God was not strong enough. It is a victory of the dharma over adharma, of the satya on the asatya, of the ignorance on the knowledge, of the knowledge on the ignorance. And this is what I say, that the mistakes has to be corrected, and that was not corrected for a long time. And therefore we had to suffer a lot because of this non-correction of the mistake. Our Puj Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji, when this Ram Janmabhoomi movement started, he also said the same thing, that this mistake was there and we have to be bold enough to correct that. Those countries or those histories or those people or those civilizations who don't correct their mistake, do you think this mistake will remain a mistake? Tomorrow every temple will be broken, and we'll be habituated to live in the slavery mood that my temple is not strong enough, my God is not strong enough, the saints are not strong enough, we are not strong enough to defend ourselves. And therefore I am saying that these mistakes, these colossal mistakes, we should be correcting. The earlier the better. The later we are, the more difficult it becomes to correct those mistakes.
Swamiji, the role of spiritual leaders like you is very important because you take Hinduism across the entire world. And I'm also joined by Pradeep Chakrabarti, well-known historian. Before I take this forward, Swamiji, with you, Mr. Chakrabarti, good evening. I hope you can hear me.
Yes. Can you hear me?
As a historian, what is the historical significance of tomorrow's event in the making of a new India?
This is an enormously important event. Sri Aurobindo once said that Valmiki is a great poet and the Mahabharata is a great poem. If you read the Valmiki Ramayana, you'll clearly understand that what Valmiki is trying to do is to create a mental, cultural nation of India together. Case in point, the part in Kishkinda Kanda where Sugriva assigns different armies to search for Sita. The descriptions of India are so detailed. And I think this is what Valmiki was trying to do. He was trying to bring the people of India together. And I think what we should be truly proud about is in this culture, Valmiki Ramayana may be the oldest, but it is not the authoritative one. Every region has its own Ramayana, and I think that's where I really appreciated the PM coming all the way to my part of Tamil Nadu and listening to the Kamba Ramayana. And each of these Ramayanas are beautiful and important in their own way. And all of them ultimately look at least two things, in my opinion. One is, it goes back to the very first shloka of the Ramayana, or the second one. कौन अस्मिन् संप्रदाम लोके गुणवान कष्ट वीर्यवान धर्मज्ञस्य कृतज्ञस्य satyavakya dradradradha. Tell me today in this world, who is somebody who is conscientious? Who is somebody who has all the gunas? Who is somebody who is persistent? Who is somebody who speaks the truth? Who is somebody who does the right thing for himself and for the world around us? And even Rama, for all the difficulties it goes through, and I think that's the lesson of the Ramayana, right? That even a great prince, there can be good days and there can be bad days, and we have to go through all of that. Even somebody like Rama, at the end of the day, he was unable to vanquish Ravana. And Agastya had to come and teach him the Aditya Hridaya. And of course, metaphorically, when he said the Aditya Hridaya, he was praying to the sun god, but in a way, he was also casting that light within himself. And Rama had to fight and win the Ravana within him, the evil within him, before he could kill the evil outside. And I think that's the ultimate message of the Ramayana, that evil is not outside, it's really within us. And we control our destiny. The world around us is what we make it out to be, and we need to be able to live the Rama within us. And I think what Valmiki did in that day has happened today with so many people from across India. I've been looking at your visuals. I've been to Ayodhya many years back on work, but I can see that the groundswell of people are common people. I think that's really important, Arnab, because science today has unraveled so many mysteries. But religion and stories and itihasas like the Ramayana will always have a place because they give us hope. And at the end of the day, maybe you and I and many people watching this TV are fairly privileged. I mean, we get our 3 square meals a day, we've got a roof over our head, and we certainly have the money to have a TV connection. But there's so many people in India whose daily life is such a drudgery. And for them, if this gives hope that there is a better day tomorrow, I think who are we to take it away? And I think that's the hope that we are seeing today. And I'm truly happy that this has come together. But I also have a note of caution, Arnab, which is that when we've done this, this is a very creditable thing, and we should go ahead and do this. And I'm happy this is happening. But once this has died down, all of us who plan to visit this temple, we should also support the many hundreds, if not thousands, of Rama temples that are languishing across India. I come from Tirunelveli, which is deep down south Tamil Nadu. Lovely Rama temple in Seranma Devi hardly sees any visitors. Very poor state of maintenance. I would hope that this groundswell of love and affection that we have for Rama and Ayodhya, it spills over and it continues to flow for a longer time, so that it's not just the Rama and Ayodhya who receives visitors and pilgrims, but also other Ramas everywhere else. And hopefully this will encourage more and more young people to read the Ramayana again. And there are many translations available, to not just look at the Ramayana as a story, but to look at it as something that will help them cast their insight inwards, and for them to find the Rama within them, for them to find the Sita within them, for them to find the Ravana within them, and most important of all, for them to read the poetry of Valmiki and feel a love for literature in whatever language they read the Ramayana.
Yes. Before I go back to Swami Abhinandan ji, or to my next question, with your permission, Ms. Chakravarti and Swamiji, I would like to go once across to Sucharita, who is at Ayodhya. It's important to give all our viewers a sense of the fervor on the ground. So over to you, Sucharita.
And a joyous moment, I must say, because I am surrounded with people who come from different parts of the country. Somebody comes from Madhya Pradesh, somebody is coming from Gujarat, from down south, from Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and I have a swarm of people here joining me. आप लोग पूछ रहे थे अर्नब गोस्वामी क्यों नहीं आते हैं? अर्नब गोस्वामी बैठे हुए हैं स्टूडियो में और बात कर रहे हैं. तो पहले तो मुझे बताइए कहाँ से आए हैं?
जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम, जय सिया राम. रामचंद्र की, सियापत रामचंद्र की, हनुमान की, पवन सुत हनुमान की.
ये बताइए आप लोग लोग हाथ में प्रभु श्री राम के झंडे लेकर आए हुए हैं और यहाँ पर आपने मुझे बताया कि पंक्तियां भी लिखी हैं, आप उन्हें सुना भी रहे थे
कि सदियों से बाकी था जो पूरा हुआ काम जी, राम जी को मिल गया राम जी का धाम जी, बलिदानी कार्य सेवकों को है प्रणाम जी, उनके माता पिता प्रेरकों को है प्रणाम जी, जो भी राम भक्त आया राम जी के काम जी, कोटि कोटि राम भक्तों का उन्हें प्रणाम जी। और मंदिर पर विशेष पंक्तियां कहता हूं अर्णव जी, निवेदन करता हूं कि मंदिर निर्माण राम से तू जैसा काम जी, हर एक ईंट पे लिखा है राम नाम जी, हर एक ईंट पे लिखा है राम नाम जी, विश्वकर्मा शिल्पियों ने कलाएं बिखेर दी, पत्थरों पे राम जी की लीलाएं उकेर दी, पत्थरों पे राम जी की लीलाएं उकेर दी। राम लला बालक का अद्भुत स्वरूप है, अगुण अरूप ब्रह्म सगुण स्वरूप है, घट घट वासी अजय अविनाशी राम जी, हो गए अयोध्या वासी वनवासी राम जी हम आखिरी लाइन, राम जी हमारे राजा जानकी महारानी है, अयोध्या जी देश की सनातन राजधानी है।
अयोध्या, आप लोग जो बोल रहे हैं, उन्होंने कहा, if Arnab you can hear me, he is very clearly saying Ayodhya is the Sanatani capital of India, the Sanatan capital of India। आप लोग जुड़े हुए हैं हमारे स्टूडियो के साथ, आप दर्शक पूरे देश में आपको देख रहे हैं, मुझे जल्दी से बताइए राम के मायने क्या हैं आपके लिए?
बहुत मायने मैं राम जी के लिए 20 दिनों में 1100 किलोमीटर की पद यात्रा करके
1100 किलोमीटर
जी जोधपुर के तिवरी गांव से 1 जनवरी से निकला था और आज 20 जनवरी को पहुंच गया था शाम के।
क्या है राम?
तो यही कहते हैं जिसके मन में जिसमें दिल में राम नहीं तो कुछ नहीं है।
राम जी हमारे प्राण है, प्राण हमारे प्राण है राम जी हमारे।
देखिए राम जी यस सर्वस्व रमंत्र सह रामा, जो सब जगह रमण करता है वही राम है। ऐसे राम पे लोगों ने विरोध किया है, कुछ लोगों ने, भगवान उनको सद्बुद्धि दे कि जो हर जगह घट घट वासी है, एक एक जर्रे जर्रे में जिसका पहचान है, उस व्यक्ति का विरोध, उस ईश्वर का विरोध करने वाले लोग, हमें लगता है कि उन लोगों को अगले जन्म में नरक ही मिलना है।
मैम एक बात और,
मैं एक चीज पूछूंगी आप सबसे, क्योंकि आप लोग यहाँ हैं, मैं जितनों से मिलती हूँ सब ये कहते हैं कि हमें निमंत्रण नहीं मिला है, लेकिन हम आए हैं राम के लिए आए हैं।
जी हाँ जी।
मैम निमंत्रण का मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, यही 10 साल पहले की, यही जहाँ आप खड़ी हैं रामपहली की, यहाँ 10 साल पहले की स्थिति आप देखती तो आप सोच नहीं सकती जो आज है। इसके लिए तो मोदी और लोग बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
इतने लोग मर गए रामपाड़ी पे, इसी रामपाड़ी में इतने लोग मर गए, यहाँ पे कुछ भी नहीं था, यहाँ पे लाशें जो है मैडम।
मेरी कोशिश है आप सबसे बात करूं, बिकॉज आप लोग इंतजार कर रहे थे कि आप
हम लोग कार सेवा में भी आए थे, यहाँ पे कार सेवा करके गए हैं, लोगों को मरते हुए भी देख के गए हैं, बचाने की कोशिश भी की गई, लेकिन फिर भी आज हम लोगों का इच्छाएं पूरी हो गई, राम का मंदिर भव्य बन गया।
देखिए Arnab, the feeling on the ground when I'm with people, it is very clear. They say they've come for Ram, they've come for Ram Lala. They do not need an invitation. It does not matter. And those who've not come despite an invitation are the unfortunate ones. This feeling resonates across devotees who've come here. As I earlier told you, that people have come from different parts of the country, and some of them, this young man here, he says he's walked all the way here to Ayodhya because he wanted to be here on the Pran Pratishtha, on the consecration ceremony.
जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम।
अच्छा लगता है?
बिल्कुल अच्छा लगा।
आपको नहीं लगा कि आप थकेंगे? आप चल
नहीं,
कर आए?
मैं चलकर आया, मैंने रोज 55 से 70 किलोमीटर रोज निकाला। मेरे एक साथी है चंद्राम जी माली, वो उन्होंने मेरा साथ दिया। मैं 3-4 महीने से इस यात्रा के बारे में सोच रहा था, मैं बस प्राण प्रतिष्ठा तिथि के बारे में सोच रहा था, मैं कब आएगी। जब आई तो मैंने 50 दिन का जो टारगेट लिया था, उस टारगेट के हिसाब से मैं 1 जनवरी चूज़ की, 1 जनवरी से 20 जनवरी तक पहुंचूंगा। और मैं जो मेरे दोस्त है चंद्राम, उन्होंने मेरा साथ दिया और मैं 20 जनवरी को शाम के 7 बजे अयोध्या जी की नगरी मेरा प्रवेश किया।
आप कहाँ से आए हैं बाबा? वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम?
हम लोग तो यहीं से हैं और राम जी के लिए एक छोटा सा भजन भी हमने तैयार किया, थोड़ा सुना दी। मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है, मेरा राम की कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है, करते हो मेरे रघुवर मेरा नाम हो रहा है, करते हो मेरे रघुवर मेरा नाम हो रहा है, मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है, मेरा आपकी दया से सब काम हो रहा है।
एक मिनट मैं स्टूडियो में बात करूं। So sir, this is the mood on the ground, Arnab. If you can, you've seen them, you've heard them, and you know what Ayodhya is like right now. A few hours before the Pran Pratishtha of Ram Lala at the Jansthan Mandir.
Very, it's a wonderful report, great feeling. और जिनको इनविटेशन मिली और जो नहीं गए वो नरक की बात कोई ना करे, उनको सद्बुद्धि जरूर मिले, ये हम भी आशा करेंगे उनको सद्बुद्धि मिले. May they get a sense of reality of this country. Thank you, Sucharita ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. And now, before I go back to our earlier guests, I want to go to Kameshwar Chopal ji. Kameshwar Chopal ji पहले कार सेवक है जिन्होंने 3 दशक पहले ईंट लगाई थी. कमेश्वर चौपाल जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? मैं अर्नब बोल रहा हूं, अयोध्या से लाइव हैं आप. कमेश्वर जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? जी. 3 दशक पहले आपने पहली ईंट लगाई थी वहां पे राम मंदिर के लिए. आज वो रियलिटी बन गई है. तो आपके रोल पर पिक्चर भी बनी थी, बहुत इमोशनल मोमेंट हो गया आपके लिए इस वक्त. तो आपको ये 3 दशक का जो स्ट्रगल रहा है, आपने जो खुद देखा है, और आपने पहली ईंट की वहां पे स्थापना की थी, तो आपको कैसा लग रहा है कल के अनुष्ठान के पहले?
ये 3 दशक के अंदर हमें फीलिंग 500 वर्षों का हुआ है, क्योंकि हमसे अधिक संघर्ष हमारे पुरखों ने किया था. 500 वर्षों में लंबा संघर्ष हुआ, काफी बड़ा बलिदान देना पड़ा. काफी बड़े संघर्ष के बाद आज राम जी अपने जन्मभूमि पर विराजेंगे. यह सुखद जो वातावरण है आज पूरे देश में, फीलिंग तो हमारी ऐसी हो रही है कि जैसे लगता है तब सबरी के घर केवल राम गए थे, आज भारत के प्रत्येक घर में राम आने की तैयारी हो रही है. हर एक अपने घर को साफ सफाई कर रहा है, रंगोली बना रहा है, तोरण द्वार लगा रहे हैं, दीपक सजाने की व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं. लगता है कि पूरा भारत बस सबड़ी हो गया और संपूर्ण देश राम की भक्ति में सारा बोर हो गया है. और मेरे अंदर भी राम के भाव इतने प्रबल हो गए हैं कि मुझको तो लगता है कि मुझे कई जन्मों के पुण्य का परिणाम इस जन्म में मिल गया है.
बहुत सुंदर तरीके से आपने अपनी बात रखी. Also joining us is Virendra Hegde ji. Mr. Hegde is the Dharmadhikari of the Dharmsthal Manjula Keshwara Mandir. Virendra ji, namaskar.
Namaskar.
We have been talking about different aspects before the ceremony tomorrow. My question to you is from the point of view of national unity. We know that this temple has been made, various parts of the country have contributed to the making of this temple. In fact, I am told that this temple is made with the soil from 2,587 different places. So from the point of view of national unity, Virendra ji, how do you view the consecration of the Ram Mandir tomorrow from the view of national unity, Virendra ji?
Yeah, it's the whole nation's attention has been drawn to the temple, especially because of the media also. I would say that media is responsible for drawing attention to the Ram Lala's new temple. So I should say that the whole nation is watching the program with all curiosity and devotion.
And Virendra ji, there is a deep religious significance of this whole event tomorrow. The name of Sri Ram is inscribed in each brick of the Ram Mandir, similar to the stones with which the Ram Setu was built. Can you tell us a little bit more about the religious significance of the Ram temple, of what has been built, and what this consecration of the Ram idol tomorrow will mean for Hinduism? We've lost his connection out there. I hope to get it back, but may I in the meantime put that same question to Swami Abhedanand. Swami Abhedanand, I think it's very important that everyone, especially the younger generation, gets a clear sense of the deep religious and historical significance of tomorrow's event and the Ram temple. Could you please put that in perspective for all our viewers?
Yes. See, Arnab, first thing is I want to say is that there are two things everywhere. One is called the body, other is called the soul. एक शरीर होता है, एक आत्मा होती है. घर जो बाहर का स्ट्रक्चर है वो बाहर का स्ट्रक्चर है, लेकिन जो उसके रहने वाले लोग हैं वो उसकी आत्मा है. उसी प्रकार से जैसे शरीर और आत्मा होती है, there is something called religion and there is something called politics. तो political system है, whatever the political system is, when the political system is meant to protect the religion and the religion is meant to inspire and guide the political system, then only there is a happy nation and a happy country. This temple is not just a temple, it's the expression of the happy marriage of the political system with the religious system. And this religion and politics cannot be separated, because religion without politics cannot survive, and political system has to support it, and the religion has to guide the political system, and then only the country can run beautifully. And as you have said about the temple which is being consecrated tomorrow, see more, I tell you, the celebration is the name of higher desire, getting an opportunity. So it is not just a temple कि कल किसी भी टेम्पल का एक कॉन्सिक्रेशन है. हमको लग रहा है कि हमारे घर में भगवान राम आए हैं, हमारे मन में भगवान राम आए हैं. वो भगवान राम आए हैं जिनके पास शील है, जिनके पास वैल्यूज है. And moment the values become more important than valuables, then the value of that country and the value of that nation increases. When valuables are more important than values, then a system loses its value. And this is what happened in India. Somehow the politics, the power became more powerful than God, and therefore it became difficult to deal with this. कल जो हमारे पास होने वाला है, कल जो हमारा consecration है, it is to say that the values have won over valuables. भगवान राम हमारे मन पे शासन करने के लिए आए हैं. भगवान राम पे जो हमारा फेथ है, जो 500 years का हमारा फेथ, हमको लगता था कि टेम्पल नहीं बन पाएगा, कैसे बनेगा, वो बन रहा है. वो भगवान राम की जीत है, वो धर्म की जीत है, वो जो है मूल्यों की जीत है, वो श्रद्धा की जीत है, वो रामायण की जीत है. और जो उसके साथ रिचुअल्स हैं, रिचुअल्स आर ऑल दैट विल बी परफॉर्म, बट द यूथ शुड अंडरस्टैंड that only going for the life of professional success will not give them peace. Success is not peace. Somebody can be successful, still not peaceful. It is just success without the religion is something, a body without the soul will be a dead body. Similarly, unless there is a healthy value behind the person, healthy faith behind a person, the respect for the elders, the respect for the teacher, the respect for Mata and Pita, the respect for our own gurus, the respect for rishis, the respect for Bhagwan Ram, वो व्यक्ति को शांत बनाता है, वो व्यक्ति को ऊर्जावान बनाता है, वो व्यक्ति को तेजस्वी बनाता है. Life is not conquered, or life is not how you face. You cannot face the world with the qualifications that you have. You face the world with the faith, with the values, and with the knowledge. These three things are there through which we can face the world. And this victory of these three things are represented by this temple, which is called the Ram temple tomorrow, which is being consecrated. So this is the main point here. हम लोग को लगता है कि दो चीज अलग होती है. हम लोग दोनों में इंटरफियर न करें. एंड दैट वाज द मिसफॉर्च्यून ऑफ द पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम कि उन्होंने रिलीजन वॉज सीन एज समथिंग अनटचेबल. हिंदू बोलना एक अपराध था. जैसे कि अगर हम बोलते हैं कि हम हिंदू हैं, दैट वॉज एज इफ अ सिन वॉज देयर. दिस मिथ, दिस इमेजिनरी नोशन हैज बीन ब्रोकन टुडे. और आज हम गर्व के साथ बोलते हैं कि ये हमारा मंदिर है, ये हमारे धर्म की जीत है. और भगवान राम, वो टेम्पल बाहर नहीं बन रहा है, वो टेम्पल हम सबके अंदर बनेगा. वो फेथ का टेम्पल रहेगा. आज हर बच्चे को, आज हर यंगस्टर्स को पता लगेगा कि उनके पेरेंट्स की क्या वैल्यू होती है, मदर और फादर की वैल्यू क्या होती है. एक के कई के कहने पे भगवान राम सब कुछ छोड़ देते हैं. हम लोग छोटी सी बात अपने माता पिता के लिए नहीं छोड़ पाते हैं, अपने सिस्टम के लिए नहीं छोड़ पाते, अपनी कंट्री के लिए नहीं छोड़ पाते. जिस लोगों में त्याग नहीं होता है वो आदमी खुश नहीं रहता. एनीबडी हु इज अनहैप्पी इज ओनली बिकॉज ही इज नॉट एबल टू रिनाउंस समथिंग इज स्मॉल, sacrifice something is small. And any system, any culture, any nation, any place is made by the individuals only. And individual is made by the capacity of his sacrifice, serving and surrender. And this is what is represented by this temple and by this consecration. So the youth should get the information, and then information to take them to transformation. And that transformation should be, I should not live for only myself. Ramji did not do anything for himself. He did it for his guru. He did it for the people around. He did it for his mother and father. He did it for his brother. We are thinking about myself. I'm thinking about how good doctor I can be and earn a lot. I'm thinking how good engineer I can be and I can earn a lot. I'm thinking how good officer. It's my name, my fame. No, the fame of the country, the fame of the teachers, the fame of God, the fame of my forefathers are more important. All these values are represented by this temple, and the consecration is just a lighting of that ignition of that fire in each youth of India, that this bring out that inner Ram from you. अपने अंदर के राम को आप निकालो, अपने आप अंदर के रावण को आप मारो. Let us conquer the Ravan within. Let us bring the Ram inside from outside. Let each house become Ayodhya. Let each house become a temple. That is what the purpose of this consecration is. The outer consecration should take us to inner consecration. That is what I have to say, Arnab.
Yes, Swami Abhedanand ji, you have put it very well. And I think that is a challenge that we face as a country also today. That we have been told for a very long time. Rather, this has been the mindset that has been put through the kind of education system we have had, that Hinduism is to be associated with superstition and irrationality. Whereas Hinduism is the most scientific and rational religion in the world. And this is all part of what was the grand Macaulay design if the British wanted to rule the country. Earlier, some Muslim rulers of the country, they said, we'll subjugate and punish Hinduism. And then the British came, and the British said, we must make Indians look down on their religion. And hence, look down on Hindutva, look down on Sanskrit, look down on their own scriptures, and look upon English as the only language to speak in, and speak about Christian values but never speak about Hindu values. This is what was done in our country. Now, the very important point, Pradeep Chakravarti, that Swami Abhedanand ji beautifully puts in fact, is that how can you differentiate governance and politics from religion completely?
Yeah. And this
how can you do that? It's like saying that politics and governance should have no link to the society in which it operates.
And this has been the way, it's not just the way India has functioned, it's the way the world has functioned. If you look at the Protestant movement, the role of the church in religion and governance has been very much the same. Religion is able to emotionally connect with people and bring people together. And whether it was kings in the north, the kings in the south, I'm an expert in the Pandyas and the Cholas in Tamil Nadu. They were able to use the temple and religion to bring people together. I think Swamiji made an important point. I want to do a little bit of a double click on that. Unlike other places of worship in the Hindu or the Sanatana Dharma tradition, a temple is not just a place of prayer. In fact, it's the last thing to pray. The idea is we need to connect to the 5 elements outside. which are also within us. It is difficult to do it without some kind of a concrete image to focus our attention on. Therefore, the Vastu Purusha was made to sit on the floor, and all the Parivara Devatas sat on top of him. And that's how the grid of the temple was formed. So when you go into the temple, you're not going into just a place of prayer. You're actually going into a zone which represents the entire part of the cosmos that you can feel, because it's made up of the 5 elements, but also what you can't feel, because it's beyond that, beyond language, beyond words. So a temple is really a place where you connect to yourself and you connect to things that you can perceive with your senses, what you cannot perceive. So hopefully, youngsters, when they come in, they not only see the Ram within themselves and the Ravan within themselves, and certainly in a way, I think this whole debate is about just Ram. Remember that Valmiki said, Sitayam Charita Mahatar. So the first option Valmiki had was to call it Sita's story. Right? And Sita is just as important, if not more important. And I'd love to go back to a quote again from the Valmiki Ramayana. When Sita and Rama get married, Janaka says, Iyam Sita Mama Sudha Saha Dharma Charitavan. He says, hey Rama, this is my daughter Sita. If you have a doubt in the Dharma Shastra, she will know how to answer them, because she is equal to you in every way. Remember, Rama was about 12 or 13 when he lifted the bow. Sita was a really tiny girl and she was able to lift the bow with just a little finger. So Sita was evenly matched to Ram in everywhere, and just as much as men find Rama and Ravana within themselves, women will have to find the Sita and the Ravana within themselves as well. And I think when we talk about the temple, therefore, it has to not just be a space of prayer. Of course, it's important because as human beings, our karma is endless. The one karma is fulfilled, 100 others come up. So, of course, we'll all have to put our prayers inside for all sorts of things. But yes, we also need to see the temple as a zone where we connect ourselves with our own selves. And I don't know whether it's by design or by contemplation. It's remarkable that the idol for Rama came from stone from Karnataka. And those of you who know your Ramayana well will know that Kishkinda, where Hanuman lived, was Karnataka. So in a way, it is Hanuman's gift to Ayodhya. And the ancient tradition has been very, very clear, Arnab. When we talk about Ayodhya, when we talk about the Ganga, we are not talking about it geographically. It is not the Ayodhya that you're showing on your screen, because everywhere there is a Rama temple. Everywhere somebody is finding Rama within themselves, that place is Ayodhya too. Everywhere there is a river where there is water. Everywhere where that water is used for the benefit of the community and for nature, that is the Ganga. And that's the way our ancients looked at integrating people together, integrating temples together. In the ancient days, everything that we expect from the government, the temple did for the local community. The temple was a fulcrum around which the local community revolved. And I would hope that this temple brings people together to find that Rama within themselves and also within other people as well.
It will. And in fact, one very important aspect we need to look at, because the whole Ram Janmabhoomi movement, because it was spearheaded by the BJP, there has been an attempt at saying that the Ram Mandir and the quest for the Ram Mandir is an aspect that is stronger in North India and does not connect to the rest of the country, and that is an untruth. I want to go back to Virendra Hegde ji, who I have with me on a better connection right now. Virendra ji, sorry we got disconnected the last time we were speaking because I think of the bandwidth problem. And my question to you is this, and by the way, I'd like to mention that the 600 kilogram main temple bell of the Ram Mandir has also been brought in and manufactured from Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. So this temple has been built from soil, contribution in different ways, stone, metal, everything from different parts of the country. My question to you, Virendra Hegde ji, from the point of view of uniting the country, it's very deliberate. I think the way the Prime Minister is also going around to various spots, especially in South India, ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, is also messaging to that effect, that the Ram Mandir really unites the entire country. I'd like your thoughts on that, sir.
I totally agree with this, because from the childhood we have been brought up with the story of Rama. So we have example of Rama for everything. from sacrificing his pleasure for the keeping up his word with his parents, the way he spent his time in the forest, the way he sacrificed his personal pleasure, and hard work was and in the forest he never spent. There is no incident of his weeping or desperately shouting at his parents or somebody. So every time we see that he's always having a positive note. So this is the greatest message to the world. When you are in difficulty, when you are in a challenging situation, don't bow down, don't get upset, don't get worried, but face it properly. He lost his wife. His wife was carried away by somebody. But instead of again getting desperate and weeping, he started fighting for the justice and fighting for the cause. So this is the message from which we have grown up. We have grown up with the same message. So it is uniting India is definitely through his story, and he is going to Rama and Krishna are the two personalities which unite the whole country. Sorry. They are the uniting factors, definitely.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely it is. अयोध्या से एक बार फिर मैं जाना चाहूंगा कामेश्वर चौपाल जी के पास। कामेश्वर जी, आपने जब पहली बात कही तो आपने कहा कि 500 साल की जो तपस्या है उसको मतलब कल एक तरह से 500 साल की तपस्या के बाद मंदिर बन रहा है। तो जितने कार सेवक हैं, आप उनसे कई लोगों के साथ संपर्क में रहे होंगे और शायद अभी भी हैं, तो उनमें से कितने अयोध्या पहुंचेंगे, कितने अयोध्या में होंगे, और जिन्होंने मतलब कार सेवा में जिन्होंने अपना योगदान दिया, उनके लिए कल का अलग महत्व होगा।
जी, कार सेवा में देश भर के लाखों लोग जुटे थे। उसमें से जैसा मैंने कहा कि कई पीढ़ियां खप गई, तो 84 से अभी तक तो मैं समझता हूं कि इस संघर्ष में भी जो कार सेवक थे उसमें से अधिकांश लोग खप गए। अब नेतृत्व वर्ग में ही लिया जाए तो इस संघर्ष के जो प्रमुख मार्गदर्शक थे, प्रमुख अग्रणी मार्गदर्शक करने वाले, उसमें से अधिकांश लोग चले गए हमारे बीच से। वैसे कार सेवक जो आत्माहुति दे दिए तो दे दिए, जो स्वाभाविक जीवन जीने वाले थे उसमें से भी चले गए। जो लोग हैं उसमें से अभी अयोध्या में भारी संख्या में लोग जमे हुए हैं, काफी उत्साह में है। पूरे चौक चौराहे पर वो मग्न है राम के भक्ति में। और हम लोगों ने योजना बनाई है, अभी तो देश के प्रतिनिधि के रूप में हमारे संत आए हैं, महानुभाव आए हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद की भी हमारी योजना है। हम जब राम मंदिर को राष्ट्र मंदिर करते हैं तो हम ये विचार करके कर रहे हैं कि भारत के हर एक भाग का जो पावन है, पवित्र है, सबका समन्वय हो करके ये मंदिर भव्य और दिव्य बने। इसलिए हमने देश के सभी देव स्थलों से वहाँ देवों का चरण रज लाया था, सभी पवित्र नदियों का जल लाया था, सभी तीर्थों का रज लाया था, और इन सबों को लेने के साथ साथ देश के हर एक भाग के लोगों का इसमें सहभागी हो गए। इस प्रकार की योजना प्रारंभ से थी और अभी सभी कार सेवक भगवान का दर्शन कर सके, इसकी भी योजना हमारी है। और कल जब प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो जाएगा तो संतों के दर्शन कर लेने के बाद से हम लोग प्रारंभ कर रहे 26 तारीख से हर एक प्रांत के कार सेवकों को बुलाएंगे, उनको दर्शन कराएंगे, भगवान का प्रसाद ग्रहण कराएंगे, और उनका जो त्याग है, तपस्या है, परिश्रम है, उनके लिए उनको हम नमन भी करेंगे कि आप जो संकल्प लिए हैं उसी संकल्प का परिणाम है कि आज भारत का गौरव का ये पल आया और भव्य दिव्य मंदिर का निर्माण हुआ है। मैं समझता हूँ कि राम मंदिर बनने से देश में बड़ा भारी परिवर्तन आएगा, क्योंकि राम भारत का चरित्र नायक है और चरित्र नायक होने के नाते राम के चरित्र जिस प्रकार से इस देश में हम पढ़ते हैं, जानते हैं, वो समाज में समता का, बंधुता का, समरसता का, स्नेह का भाव लेकर के राम ने समाज को तब जोड़ा था, और आने वाले समय में भी जब राम विराजेंगे तो भारत के हर एक व्यक्ति के हृदय मंदिर में राम विराजेंगे और उनके आचरण में परिवर्तन आएगा, चरित्र में परिवर्तन आएगा, और देश निश्चित रूप से राम के चरित्र से प्रेरणा लेकर के देश में जो कटुता है उसको दूर करके भारत में प्रेम का, स्नेह का गंगा प्रवाहित होगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
जी 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 and I am now joined by Hindol Sengupta, and I want to have just one thought from Hindol as well as Swami Abhedanand to what had been actually earlier written by Virendra Hegde ji, who just spoke to us a while back, the Dharmadhikari of Dharmasthal Manjulakeshwar temple. Hindol, as a historian and as a scholar of modern India, you know, there are people, for example, Virendra Hegde has said that the Hindu community has been the victim of conspiracies carried out in the pretext and under the cover of secularism. Now, in that context, where the word secularism is always used to sort of trap the Hindu community in various conspiracies, put it on the defensive, how do you view tomorrow's event? Is this a moment of inflection in a way? Hindol.
Absolutely. I think, Arnab, tomorrow's event is a moment of great inflection. One of my upcoming projects is on India as a civilizational state. And I would like to state on your program tonight that tomorrow begins, in a sense, India's journey globally recognized as a civilizational state. Till now, we've been talking about India as a civilizational state, but there hasn't been any visible demonstration, as it were, of India's place as a civilizational state. And the coming of the Ram Mandir is that. You spoke about conspiracy, Arnab, so allow me to mention one that I'm noting at this moment today. I find it extremely disturbing, Arnab, that people are not mentioning, all the great critics are not mentioning abroad and in India, that the same Supreme Court judgment that allowed for this temple to be built gave around double that amount of land for a mosque to be built. And today we know, Arnab, that of the millions of dollars that have been raised for that mosque to be built, 40% have been given by non-Muslims. What more can be really an example of the kind of institutional validity and the pluralism that Indian civilization and society has? What more can we demonstrate than this? And yet people are barely talking about this. People are silent about this. And I do think this, if there's one conspiracy to highlight today, this is it.
Well, I think you put that very well. I'd like to close with Swami Abhedanandji. Swamiji, globally and across the world, my earlier question to you, I'm just taking off from what Hindol has said, India as a civilizational state. We've never really put across our country in that sense. And, also a civilizational state, why be subtle about it? India as a country which is the source, the cradle, the birthplace and the natural home of Hindus and Hinduism and Hindutva. So, Swamiji, globally, I'm sure tomorrow's event is also being watched. How will it be watched? And will some lobbies who have always tried to put this negativity and this toxic narrative around assertive Hinduism as something that poses a great danger to other religions in India and across the world, will that change?
See, Arnab, this is the point, very important point, because from the beginning we have been programmed wrongly about this word secularism. This is the very common point that dharma alone can unite. Whether it is house, supposing husband and wife are there. If husband doesn't follow his dharma or wife doesn't follow her dharma, it will break the relation. as a teacher, if I don't follow my dharma and the student doesn't follow his dharma, will break. So there is nothing called dharma nirpeksh. Everything is dharma sapeksh. India was for the Hindus, it will be with the Hindus. So this was fed that, this was very cleverly fed from the beginning of our education. Then don't call yourself Hindu, you will become communal otherwise. You will be backward or something. But I'm surprised, I'm telling you, Arnab, when I go out of the country, the people have more proud in saying that I am a Hindu, I'm a proud Hindu there. Whether it is in South Africa or anywhere else, more than in India. So this is too much into our blood. And I am saying that this temple which is being built will enforce the value of Bhagwan Ram. Many people may not visit the temple, but they will know the glory of Bhagwan Ram's nature, how he sacrificed, how he was tolerant towards his own problems in life, and how he fought for the people who were opposing the dharma also. So main aspect is that there is no threat to anybody. Hindus have no threat because the same Atma is there in all. Same God is in everybody. But if somebody disturbs our own religion, our own house, our own life, our own ladies and children, then definitely the Kshatri power, the power to retaliate should be there. Why it should not be there? The political system should be there to protect the religious system, and the religious system should be guiding the political system. And this was totally diverse in India. This was divorced, and because of this divorce, that we had so much of calamities, so much of problems, so much of appeasing of the minorities. How long this will continue? And this new era has come. And I am really happy that we have a leader like Prime Minister Modi. In Hanuman Chalisa, it is said, Sabse Ram tapasvi Raja. The Raja should be tapasvi, and that is what he is demonstrating. If the people see that the Prime Minister visits the temple, he fasts, then I and you, ordinary person, will also think about doing the same thing. If he is religious, if he is not transgressing his limit, I also will become like that. And there is no threat to anybody as long as they don't disturb the main system. And if anybody disturbs the main system, they should have the fear of the government, that they should be punished with a harsh, hard land. There should be no soft dealing with anybody who disturbs our faith system. We are not going to disturb anybody, and we are not going to disturb anybody's faith. There is no threat from any Hindu. No saint teaches us. No Gita teaches us. I teach Gita. It is universal. Bhagwan Ram resides in every religion. He is in every heart. So it is not that. He may be called in different names. I have no problem. But don't disturb my temple. Don't disturb my Gita. Don't kill me. If you want to live, you have allowed me to also to live. You cannot live unless you allow me to also to live. And if anybody is there who will be living only for himself and try to disseminate and clear everybody, then that person or that particular community also will not be able to survive. And this is what I want to say, that we should be ahead in that manner also. We should first live the values what Bhagwan Ram says. Temple building is one thing, but that temple has to be built in our heart also. Then only we can be living, walking, talking, live Ramas, at least some representative, some monkeys. We cannot become Hanumanji, but we can become some monkey of Bhagwan Ram.
Yes. Swamiji, I think both you and Hindol have completed the discussion extremely well. I will only say that for millions and millions of Hindus, Ram Lalla is more than just the deity. He represents righteousness and hope. And I also agree with what you said. Equality to all, appeasement to none. Let tomorrow be the start of a new era in our country's history. Swami Abhedanandji, Kameshwarji and Hindol, thank you very much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, as I wrap up only for tonight, I'd like to remind you that we have crews from all our network channels in Ayodhya tomorrow, and we're all prepared and excited about bringing you tomorrow's coverage of the historic Pran Pratishtha ceremony of the Ram Mandir. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.